It's fucking snowing. It's snowing this morning. I have no idea what else to say other than the fact that it's fucking snowing and it's May 8th.
I thought I was seeing things this morning.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. Fucking ridiculous. Man. Check out the ride now. Maybe catch it on the way back, I guess. Oh, jeez. Clear at the moment. So yeah, no further comment this morning. It's fucking snowing. That's... Need to come to grips with what's happening here. So it's Monday, and I hope everybody has a good one. Make the best of it, and I hope, yeah, to anybody who's going through a rough time, depending on where you live with all the flooding that's hit, just be safe, man. That's most important. That's more important than anything. That's more important than work. That's more important than any of your, typical life, he said, she said bullshit, man. That's your home. That's your livelihood. That's your family, man. You gotta. So be safe out there. There's my big advice for the day. Just take it easy. Be safe out there. Fucking snow's fucking stupid. It's not stopping at all. Like, really, Mother Nature, get your shit together. God damn it. Alright, let's go find some stuff. Evening mulch load. Gotta come after hours because the trailer's so GD big. I'm also quite high off the ground, so better be careful. Here we go. She's going, she's going, she's going, she's going, she's going. Come on, you. Get all that in there, big old red smoky ass sheet of mulch. I can see a lot of shit from up here. Hi, Mom! Get off the damn roof! There we go. And that big ass 53-foot trailer. That big ass 53-foot trailer is why we don't get the load during the daytime. Jesus. Alright, time to get this brought inside, and then I can get some food and go home. While I have one. Oh. Holy shit, though. So as you can imagine by the "while I have one" smart-ass comment, things are not looking good on the purchasing front. I am not a fan of how things are going, and there's a very real possibility, all too real right now, matter of fact, that we will have to try to find a renter that will allow us, oh, fuck off, there, a renter that will allow us to pay them the first and last month or what have you after we move in, ideally, because I do not know, as I lock this bad boy up, come on, there we go, because I do not know how this whole selling thine house shit works. But hopefully we can find a reasonable place, maybe a nice 3-bedroom, something that would be typically above our means. And then maybe we, I don't know, I don't fucking know, use whatever money we'll have from the sale of the house and put it into rent, you know? But it is what it is, man. Not too much else I can do other than that, so. Anyway, load's done. I'm gonna go eat, then we can go home. Okay. So it's time for another post-edited end of the day bit. Hopefully this will not become a pattern, but yeah. So that was the end to the Monday, which definitely did not end well, I guess. But we're working past it. I guess apologies in advance. I'm probably going to get really deep and or depressing and or mad. I'm not really sure how it's going to go, but I'll try to keep it brief. So, if you stick around till the end, I appreciate it. Because I usually try not to bitch about my problems. Because ultimately, in the game of life, nobody gives a fuck about your problems except for you. And maybe the people that have to care. You know, your family, your loved ones, your closest friends, that kind of stuff. But ultimately, the world doesn't really give a fuck about your problems. So I try not to gripe too much openly, you know? But I'm going to veer off that for a quick second. And I apologize. I mean, skip this. If you want to go to the next one and you don't want to hear my bullshit, fucking skip to the next one. I don't give a fuck. But for those who do, just know that I appreciate you listening. And I will happily listen to your problems in exchange, because that's what people are oftentimes there for. So my issue right now is, oddly enough, considering that we own this place, at least for the next few weeks, and have owned it for nearly a decade, and have been paying a mortgage without fail, as well as a second mortgage that I then took out a number of years ago to kind of take care of some stuff. You know, life, shit happens, right? You make mistakes, you pay for them. That's how shit goes down. Anyway, paid for 2 mortgages for a number of years, essentially without fail, by the way. The second of which was nearly the same value as the first. So paying almost double what it normally would be for a mortgage, which is a lot. Even that, considering that and that history, it was not enough thus far for our bank, the bank where I do my stuff. Not enough. And then another bank that wanted my business just because, and I was willing to give them that choice. And honestly, I was upset with the first, and I said, honestly, if you guys are able to do it, then I'm going to carry my shit over, because fuck those guys. They're banks. They're there to make money, right? They can say what they want, but ultimately the profit is the bottom line. And last year, I think the big 5 banks in Canada grossed about $26 billion in profits. So do you really think they're fucking taking care of you? Anyway, that ended up being a no-go as well. So 2 were none. And I figured, okay, is it just because, I don't know. And the answer was, and I didn't know this, so maybe someone can educate me on that one too, is that the government says that they don't want someone taking out a mortgage or something that equates to like over 30% or something like that of what their income is. And I get that. You know what? That makes sense. But at the same token, it's 2017, and not a lot of people make a lot of money. And yet, given how much I was paying for the 2 mortgages that I have, that was already in excess of the 30% income that I usually get. So my thought is, what the fuck does it have to do with you? right? I know some people are thinking, okay, the main thing is they don't want people just paying rent and then not be able to feed themselves and blah, blah, blah. That's my problem. That's not your problem. And then from the bank's perspective, I understand it's, well, we want to make sure that they can actually pay the mortgage. Well, feel free to look through my history, folks. You can see that I've done that for damn near a decade without fail, as well as a car payment for the past 3 out of the 5 years of my term that I have not missed a payment without fail, because for the most part, I kind of have my shit together. Not to the degree that I might want, but it's a pass. I get the important shit done. That frustrates me that the banks are like, oh no, we don't think you make enough, or we think you're too young, or we don't want you to take on a mortgage, even though it was a rental property granted, so it wasn't going to be that bad, but fuck 'em. So that kind of pissed me off, naturally, because we're like a few weeks out, and if we can't find something, we're basically out on our ass, right? And since that time, oddly enough, I have been looking at some rentals and we've looked at some stuff. And actually, Wednesday is going to be the big day. I already have my notebook ready to just call everyone that I can, call our current mortgage provider, because that's not with the bank, and see if they can hook us up with something so that we can make something happen, and hopefully the place that we wanted won't have disappeared. Or I call a bunch of renters. Luckily, I happen to be in the business that I'm in, so I know a lot of the people that do that stuff. So I kind of have a little bit of an in that way. Either way, it's going to be a really crazy day on Wednesday. I don't know how much I'm going to document, but I'm going to try to document everything I can, because I still kind of feel bad that the past few days I haven't been able to share as much with you. But like I said, I try not to share too much of my bullshit with you guys. But if you want the bullshit, I'll share it. And then maybe one day, if things come to pass and things end up being all happy and peachy keen, I can kind of look back at that at least and chuckle and go, hey, remember that time where shit was really fucked up? So, that is my thought. That in mind, I am not drowning my sorrows, don't worry. But oh, you can't tell because the label's not on this side. But I got a local brew here. Backwards writing is what you guys will probably have. But local brewery, not too far from here. And it's my first time trying out their stuff. And I've always been meaning, it's one of those things I was like, oh, I got to get over there and try it. Well, I'm making that opportunity. And so far, so good, actually. I'm actually very intrigued because I really like their model, their business model of staying local and not trying to go big and branch out and, put their products in beer stores and LCBOs and stuff. They're staying local, and I actually admire the fuck out of that. So I'm really hoping to speak with them at some point and maybe, see about if we can do some business together. Because ultimately, that is what these Wednesdays, and hopefully more and more often in the future, are going to be for, is business and not this kind of crazy ass life bullshit. But there's times where the bullshit happens, and granted, I talked about it yesterday or earlier in this video technically, so haha, hint hint on when now is, about the issues that are going on in some areas of Quebec, some areas of Ottawa, Gatineau, well, which is technically Quebec, but you know what I mean. That area, big, quick, shout out to anybody I know in the Hudson, Rigaud, Vaudreuil areas, because that's where, I grew up for the most part. I have a lot of friends down there. I have some family down there, and it's not cool to see these drone footage videos of places being flooded and bridges having to be closed. Sorry, it makes me a bit upset. And people losing their homes. It's not okay. So, it kind of makes me think, you know, the fuck am I bitching about? My situation could be far worse. That's pretty fair. But anyway, I guess if anybody watching has an opportunity to help anybody in any kind of circumstance, make the time if you can. I know it would mean the world to them. Um, and that's it. I know it got all super depressing, and I'm really sorry that it did that. But you know, some things are more important than others, and sometimes shit comes along that you just cannot prepare for. I'm going through some stuff. There's a lot of people going through some stuff that's worse than mine. And fuck, elsewhere on the planet, people are going through some really fucking rough shit right now. So I guess the only big piece of advice I can say is take care of yourself. Be safe out there. Just focus on the shit that matters. Don't focus on the petty bullshit. You know, some people worry about having things that they don't need. The gadgets and the doodads and shit like that. You know, don't focus on that shit. Just focus on the important stuff, because some things are really important. Your family, your inner circle, that really tight circle, not the acquaintances, but like the people that you really, really care for. Everybody's got their circle. Focus on that. Focus on the things that are really important to you, and that's all you should focus on. Everything else, fuck that. Doesn't matter. So, anyway, shared some personal advice to you guys. Hopefully that meant something to you. If not, hey, it's okay. I just spout off at the mouth on some of these fucking things, and I'm actually kind of surprised that it went as long as it did. So, anyway, thank you for enduring that if you did. I wish you all a good evening. Yeah, fingers crossed for everybody, man. I hope everybody gets what they need. And just take care of yourself. All right? Adios.